I first started my journey as a physician assistant. I thought that that was what I was going to do for the rest of my life, go to PA school, practice medicine, and I thought that was it. But as a PA, I realized after a period of time I was no longer really helping people. I recognized that the medical model was more revolved around sick care. So if someone had an issue, you prescribed a pill for it. And I also was struggling with my own health issues at the time, but of course, I was a high achiever, perfectionist, type A, whatever you want to call it. And I would downplay a lot of what I was experiencing, but I had migraines since I was a child. And then in my 20s, developed gut issues. I also was on birth control for acne. So I had a lot of physical imbalances. But I knew like Western medicine wasn't really going to help me get to the root of everything. And so I learned about functional medicine. One day I came across, his name is Dr. Mark Hyman, and he was talking about, yeah, functional medicine, getting to the root cause, how everything's all connected and integrated. I was like, this is it. This is like, the answer, the key. Like, this is the future of medicine. Because growing up, my mom, she's from Poland. So even though we lived here in the US, she had all these natural holistic remedies. So anytime we had a cold or a UTI, she was always, yeah, getting us on herbs and teas and different remedies, natural supplements, things like that, to treat our ailments. And we always got better. Like we rarely went to the doctor, but when I became a PA, I learned about all these, yeah, all these protocols and everything had a pill. And I'm like, wait a second, this is not how I really want to practice medicine. So functional medicine really shed that light, helped me to really get back to the basics of focusing on. And that's what I love about your Live Bold movement. Your pillars that all start with F, food and pharmacy, speaking to food is medicine because it really truly is medicine. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we have all these plants. God gave us all these plants to heal our bodies. Chamomile tea for upset stomach, red raspberry leaf is really good for period cramps. Like, I'm like, why didn't I learn this? So I was excited to really dive in, do things in a more holistic, natural way, help myself get to the root cause of everything I was experiencing in my body, but also help my clients as well. But then this journey still took me in another direction because I thought, okay, I'm focusing on healing the physical body, and it's great, it's wonderful, and I was able to get rid of the gut issues, come off birth control, clear my skin. I also had high cortisol levels because I was really, really stressed, so I was able to lower that. But I still continue to experience migraines. I still had just this tension in my body. And I also noticed with my clients as well, they would get better, but then something would happen in their life, a stressful event, and then everything would come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like just praying to God because I'm like, why can't I get rid of these migraines? They got better, but he's like, instead of resisting, lean into it. Like they're here to teach you something. And I was like, oh, I never looked at it from that light, because we tend to get stuck in this mentality of like, why is this happening to me? And on this journey, God reminded me, like, instead of seeing things like why and asking, why is this happening to me? Like, what is the lesson? What do I need to learn from this? Because we go through challenges, we go through trials, and they're meant to strengthen us. It's meant to change us and mold us to become the people we are today. And so when I really leaned in, I realized that anytime I was putting too much on myself, putting pressure to do all these things, get all these things done, saying yes to many things, I felt overwhelmed. And that created a lot of stress, a lot of tension. And then I would get a migraine. And the migraine was there to tell me to slow down.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah. So
so there's so much there. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh, and I can just see how God made this connection. Yes,
Yeah.
as you were talking, obviously, like I'm like nodding, and so I'm so on the same page, and I just love how not only, like you said, I was looking up the verse how it's biblical where it literally says, that these things will be used for food and for medicine and all
Yeah.
the things. Like he's given us and he designed our bodies to heal anything, literally
Exactly.
anything. And like you said, it's two part. Not only is it, looking at all those natural things and not just putting a pill on a symptom, but digging into that root cause and then what is actually going to heal it, but then also the spiritual component of it
Yes.
as well. Oh, that is just so powerful. And yeah, I was on that same journey, when I started out thinking about, I thought I was going to do mental health coaching. And, same thing. There's a spiritual component to mental health that
Yeah.
is so powerful. And yeah, and I love that you are incorporating all of this so much. Just
Yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I realized like healing isn't just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And because even though I grew up Catholic, I believed in God, I wasn't close to God. So this journey also led me down really seeking him because I was seeking so many things outside of myself. I was seeking, first it was Western medicine for the doctors to tell me what's going on, but then they just recommended more pills. And then I jumped into functional medicine. I'm like, okay, maybe it's supplements. Maybe I need to change my diet and maybe I need to, change up my exercise routine, focus on better sleep. And I was doing all the things and we get caught up in all the strategies of like, okay, this is what I need to do, focusing on things outside of us in order to feel better, feel our best. But God finally was like, why don't we turn inwards and start healing from within? Because a lot of that, and when I first met you and you shared your story, I'm like, our stories are so similar because, yeah, as a PA in Western medicine, as an entrepreneur, functional medicine practitioner, I was still operating from the same beliefs and paradigms where I was just trying to prove myself, prove my worth, that I was, because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like I was worthy. And that's where a lot of this was stemming from. And I said, wait a second. So wait, there's a link between the physical imbalances and yeah, all these limiting beliefs, all these paradigms that we're living from. And God's just like, yeah, let's start breaking those away. And and then when I really got to see who he created me to be and stop living my life based on who my parents wanted me to be, who society wanted me to be, it's like I felt so much lighter. I felt freer. And that's when the body really started to heal.